is jamming.
Yungschwetzel. No. It's that new Switzel shit. Ain't that about a bitch? I be getting to it, I can't show you how I live. Bitches in my spirit, want some proof, that's where it is. In my testimony, keep on lookout for the fucking vids. That's all it is. I ain't telling no fibs. I ain't telling no fibs. Babe, won't you come my way? Watch me rip like Beyblade. Ain't no problems in the way. I be taking off the day. Cook up chef and Ramsay. Baby, I don't never play. On the way, I got the cake. I got shit I never say. You can see it on my face. Yes, sir. Snakes up in the grass, so I be sticking to the plane. Way out heating up, they might just call me Swetzel Flame. I done made my way, cause yeah, this life is not a game. All this shit is not the same. I just take it to the grave. Might just take it to the grave. Might just take it to the grave. Fade in, fade out. I'ma keep it raining even if there was a drought. I'ma keep it pushing cause I know what I'm about. I'ma keep them checks all coming in with large amounts. I be staying grateful, ain't no time for going south. I be hella happy cause I know the route. I done figured out how to bring it out, how to sing it loud. I ain't playing around. But I guess I gotta show ya. I be in the cut, baby, smoking on some Doja. I be strapped up in the cut, cause I'm a soldier. I ain't playing around, no baby, yeah, that's what I told you. Now I'll show you. Demonstrate the way I spit. All the shit that I got in my head is on some fucking shit that you ain't heard of, ain't seen before. That's why I come through with new shit and clean up Stanley Steam is clean as stove. Goddamn, I'm on the road, sweat so I be going pro. Ballin' out like JV, baby, you know I'ma do the most. You know, baby, I'ma do the most. You know I can let you close. Fade in, fade out. Baby, I'ma keep it raining even in the drought. I'ma keep it pushing cause I know what I'm about. I'ma keep the checks all coming in with large amounts. I be staying grateful, ain't no time for going south. I be hella happy cause I know the route. I done figured out how to bring it out, how to sing it loud. Baby, I ain't playing around.
Okay, first of all, before we get into anything else, wait, let me pause. Okay, now we're gonna make sure y'all can see the screen. This bottom comment right here from 5 months ago. I just want to say, Elevation. I know you here listening, anyways. You know what I'm saying? Energy, your energy won't ever die on some real shit. But a big rest in peace, a big rest in prosperity to my boy Elevating or Justin. Anybody who knows him, y'all know what happened already and shit like that. But a big rest in peace, big rest in prosperity to you, my brother. We miss you. Thank you for commenting on my shit, man. Sometimes sometimes it makes me a little sad that you're not here anymore whenever I come and look at these old fucking songs and shit like that, even though we didn't talk a whole lot there towards the end and shit like that. I still miss you, brother. You know what I'm saying? I still miss you, buddy. So, it always gives me a smile on my face whenever I come and look at these older videos and see where you had commented, left a like, or, said something or anything like that, so rest in prosperity to Justin or Elevation or Justin's Vision. Y'all might know him by a few different names and shit like that, but a big rest in peace to my brother and shit, for real. But yeah, so we're getting into this today. Once again, we're back in the communication station with your boy Shwetty. Welcome back. Once again, we in here. What's up, Who We Lie? What's up, Grace and everybody who's in here right now. Also, big shout out to everybody who's been donating. Big shout out to everybody who's been hitting me up in the DMs and shit like that. Once again, link to my Cash App, link to my IG and everything's in the bio. If you want to get your tarot card readings, you want to get your consultations, or you just want to donate, hit me up down there. I'll have the link for all that shit in the bottom. So yeah, and if you can't see it on Instagram side, it's on the YouTube side. But anyways, so we're gonna get into this shit today. We're talking about how to identify and know when you're in somebody else's world, right, or somebody else's environment and shit like that. When necessarily everything in the environment that you're observing is not per se of your creation or of your influence or things like that. You get what I'm saying? So the first thing we need to utilize as an example is relationships. You get what I'm saying? I as of right now, I feel like as of right now, I live a dogma. Isn't that the word? I've heard a lot of people use the term dogma. Um, I looked it up at one point, but I forgot what that word meant because it didn't really hold no prevalence in my life or anything like that. I think dogma is just like another form of indoctrination, basically. Like I'm pretty sure that's what the gist of the definition was just being in another form of indoctrination, being in another form of someone else's worldview and shit like that. You know what I'm saying? So I don't really know too much about dogma. I can't lie to you. I looked it up a long time ago. I forgot what the term means. But yeah, when we're getting into the title of the video, one thing that is very keen to pay attention to is relationships that people have, right? Because like I said in the video yesterday, if you haven't watched the video yesterday, go and watch that because it'll help you break down and understand environments a little bit better and how everybody is internally to externally creating an environment internally that reflects outwardly, and then that's the world that they're in. Everybody's in their own world, and we come together and we can build new worlds with people, or it can be something separate where we're both in our own world, but we're still like viewing the same things and stuff like that. So keep that in mind. But what we're getting into today is how two people come together and create a world of their own first, right? Before we get into singularities and shit like that. We're going to get into the relativeness, the duality of it, the two energy of it. You get what I'm saying? So like I was saying, when two people come together, they've already been developing an internal environment on their own by default before they even come into a situation where they want to be in a relationship with somebody or a partnership with a female and having romantic desires and shit like that. So before that even happens, everybody's already creating a singularity world view environment of their own already, right? So whenever we come together as two people, it creates a whole new world, because when we're actually relating on levels and we actually have like romantic views and romantic desires and shit like that, when these two worlds come together, it creates newness. They merge together and it creates a new type of environment, a new type of world and shit like that, where y'all might not see eye to eye on everything. You get what I'm saying? But for the most part, especially when you see like two people that just, and this happened on like a very humanistic type of level. You know what I'm saying? Like this happened with people who really don't know how to be individuals and shit like that. So you'll have like a male who just follows the influence of the woman, or you'll have a woman who just follows the influence of the male constantly. And it's not, you know what I'm saying? There's not like two unique individuals. You know what I'm saying? They basically just come together and create a whole nother individual, but it's seen as two externally, because we're seeing it play out through two separate individuals. You get what I'm saying? Good God. I almost died. Excuse me. Ooh. But yeah, so we're seeing it play out through two individuals, but it's still one world. And the reason why we can prove this is pay attention, right? So when you're in those situations, when you're out into the world and you're interacting with other individuals, right? Say, for example, you come around a couple, two individuals who are together romantically, right? And they've been together for a while, so they've created a new world for themselves and shit, right? So notice how when they're in these environments, when you're in these environments, I'm sorry, not when they are, when you are in these environments, you're dealing with two individuals. Notice how that like these two individuals will come to you and they will like say some shit to you, like for example, I'll give y'all an example based on some shit that happened to me the other day, right? I was around a certain couple, right? And they came up to me and they said some shit about my own unique expression, my world and shit like that. You know what I'm saying? They said some shit along the lines of like, it's like 85 degrees out here right now. You know what I'm saying? They say some shit like that. It's like 85 degrees outside right now. Why are you wearing, you know what I'm saying? Why are you wearing long blue jeans and shit? Like it's 80 some degrees outside. Why are you wearing these long blue jeans and shit? and they'll say that outwardly. It's a tactic though. Play close attention to what happens afterwards, because what they'll do is they'll send something out, and that's like bait. That's like an influence. That's for you to get drug into their world, depending upon how you want to react and respond to it and shit like that. Me, 9 times out of 10, I don't really take that shit too kindly. You know what I'm saying? Like, y'all might look at that shit when somebody says something like that as like, man, like, why are you wearing long ass blue jeans? Like, it's 85 degrees outside. Like, some of y'all would take that as a joke, or take that as, or some people might even take it personally and get even deeper into feeling some type of way about it. But me, I don't really take too kindly to shit like that. Like, why do you need to use me as a talking point? Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, I understand, I get it, but at the same time, like, why do you need to use me as a talking point? So my reaction and response is going to be 9 times out of 10 doing something like not even responding to the situation, not even reacting and responding to it. Like, just give somebody like a weird look, or just like look at them and be silent. You know what I'm saying? So that's how I would react and respond to it. And that keeps you away from getting drug into their world. You get what I'm saying? Because like I said, pay attention to what happens next. Pay attention to the trickle down. When they try to bait you into it, depending upon your reaction and response, that can have you interacting with their world. Because what's going to happen next is they had to go outside of themselves to bring something onto you, or to speak about you, or utilize you as a talking point, or utilize something from your expression to add on to what they're doing at the moment. After that happens, what they're going to do is they're going to more so separate from you, or try to, you get what I'm saying? And that's going to be it's going to be completely a part of their world at that moment. So they might even stop talking to you directly and start only talking to each other. You get what I'm saying? Only talking back and forth to each other, but still be talking about the same thing. You get what I'm saying? Whatever talking point they initiated to utilize you for, they're gonna be alone. They're gonna like disconnect you from it mentally or emotionally, or even outwardly in some type of ways, depending upon their body language and how you observe things and take things at the moment. You get what I'm saying? They're gonna separate from you, and then they're gonna be in the mode like talking to the amongst themselves about it, and be like, oh yeah, like I saw him at work a week ago, and yeah, he was doing the same shit, like long sleeve t-shirt, long blue jeans on and shit like that. It was 95 degrees outside. Like, why, you know what I'm saying? Why he need to be doing that? But now they're not, you know what I'm saying? They're not questioning you about it. They're not asking you for opinions to add on to it or anything like that. What they're doing is it's now their world. Do you get what I'm saying? They've taken that talking point. They've taken whatever they have observed externally, and they've brought it into their world. Do you get what I'm saying? And that's their world. So, you know what I mean? They're by default going to have a little bit more control there, especially if you're very weak spirited and stuff like that. You don't have any way of like combating like bullies. You don't know how to stand up for yourself. You don't know how to have discernment within your own mentality and emotions to know when you're getting influenced, or to know not to act on certain emotional urges, as far as like maybe you need to cuss a person out at the moment, or maybe you need to do this or that. You get what I'm saying? That's how you know you're interacting with their world at the moment, because they've taken it from what they came and talked to you about personally, and they've drug it into the realm of, okay, this is now something that we can talk about and we can have control over it. So like I said, that's their world. What's good, Jackie New, the truth? If y'all know Jackie New, go tap in with Jackie New, the truth. She on YouTube as well. But yeah, so like I said, by default, it's their world. It's their worldview and shit like that. It's the world, it's the environment, it's the atmosphere that they've created. So like I said, when you're jumping into that, they're gonna have a little bit more control there. Just because if you're a weak spirit or something like me, I could go and fucking react and respond to it all day and be up in there and not get washed away by whatever influence they have, and start like taking pieces of their gaseous fumes and shit like that and start trying to like add that to my environment or some shit like that. Like, I see certain people doing stuff like that as well, and carrying around a whole bunch of clouds based on some shit that they've been interacting with as far as environments and atmospheres and shit like that. So be careful of that if you're not very aware. But like I said, they're going to have more control. So a person like you will sit there and react and respond to this constantly, and give all type of mental and emotional energy, especially if you take it some type of way and you don't necessarily like that they're using you as a talking point, or using you as something to look at and observe at the moment, taking a piece of your individual expression and kind of ridiculing that at the moment or some shit like that. Like I said, the more emotional you get about it and the more reaction and response you give to it, you're basically fueling that even more. You get what I'm saying? So when you're interacting with these environments, like I said, 9 times out of 10, the best thing to do is just keep your mouth closed and ignore it, or just walk away or some shit like that. You get what I'm saying? Because the more that you do it, and a lot of people be acting on things just because they know that it bugs you and shit like that. Like, and I'm not going to name no specific names, but I even have people in my life to this day who will do dumbass shit like this. Like, people that I've known for years that I've set boundaries with, and I've been very clear about what bothers me, what type of things make me feel a certain type of way, what things that I take as disrespect and don't like for it to happen. And as a person who's in a relationship with me, you should just respect that by default, even if we're not necessarily like in a relationship, as far as you might not even be my friend, even if you are a family member or some shit like that. But you get what I'm saying? You're a family member. You've known me for all these years. I've spoken these boundaries to you. I've made it very clear how I feel about certain situations. And it'll still be a person who do shit just because they know that it bugs you, and they know that those certain things that you don't like or you take as disrespect or it make you feel some type of way. So be on the lookout for that. Like, people will do this type of dumbass shit all the time. You get what I'm saying? And think that I don't really know why they do it, to be honest. Like, I've been observing it for a while, and I've been doing work to try to study it more and figure out like why a person would do that, or why a person would lie all the time and stuff like that. Because there's certain individuals out here who will even lie a lot for no reason, like shit that don't even benefit, like shit that, if anything, it make them look worse in the situation. Like, it don't amplify their status or their image. It don't amplify their pockets. It don't give them any opportunities or anything like that. They just lie for the sake of lying at the moment and stuff like that. But let's read some chats before we get back into the breakdown. 30M6M said, what's up 30M6M, or whatever type of Russian characteristics that is. I don't know what the fuck you got going on, but what's up, dude? And April said, what do you mean by the title? We breaking that down right now. How to know that you in somebody else's world. And when I'm talking about world, I'm talking about an internal environment and an internal atmosphere that you create within yourself that gets reflected externally. If you want to know more about it, watch my video from yesterday. 306M said, you look like an artist. Calm down, my friend, and play for us. Oh, I'm super calm right now. I just enjoy doing this shit. So I get a little, you know what I'm saying? I get a little more upbeat when I do shit like this. Like, I enjoy doing it. So, you know what I mean? I'm very calm, and I am an artist. I do got a lot of music on this YouTube channel if you want to go check some of that shit out. Eric G says, do you live alone? No, me and my sister own a house in, well, I'm not going to tell y'all where the fuck I live at. I don't want no weirdos pulling up to my hometown and shit trying to find me and stuff. But yeah, me and my sister own a house out here. We're actually about to move. We're going to start renting this house out, and then we're going to take ownership of my mom's house and shit like that. So that'll be our new headquarters, and then this house will be rented out to someone else. But yeah, I basically live alone. You know, my sister's gone during the daytime. I work at nights. Fucking just got a job started yesterday. You know, because fuck, man. I love doing this shit. This is what I want to do full time, but it's not feeding my pockets like it could be right at the moment. So there's other shit that I got to supplement in, because I can't just lose grip with my responsibilities and shit like that just because I have a dream and a goal at the moment and I have a passion within something. Like, still got to take care of those, you know what I'm saying, responsibilities and all that shit. Somebody dropped a heart. Grace Hannah said, real shit. And yeah, it's all about how you react. Facts. Eric G saying, I live with my Tinder girlfriend and her husband and family. The husband is very petty and selfish. Shit. You got a love triangle going on, homie. I would say so. Men tend to be jealous. Be careful with that. So you in a situation that pertains to this video right now already. You get what I'm saying? You're living with your Tinder girlfriend and her husband and family. You get what I'm saying? So by default, when these two individuals came together, whatever environment that they was creating alone by their own self, that's one thing. But they came together, started developing another environment. And when you say family, that make me think that they got kids. You get what I'm saying? So they got a whole world developed already. They got a whole civilization and society and shit like that. You know what I'm saying? So boom, type shit. Just be on the lookout for that. You're in their world right now, especially since you living with them and shit like that. You're in their world right now. So they're gonna want things to go according to how they've developed it and shit like that. That's why it's really complicated. Jackie New says she ain't even get a notification on YouTube. I don't know why, honey. This should be apps be glitching lately and shit like that. I don't know what to tell you. But yeah, be on the lookout for that, because you got to understand, if a person has been married to somebody, that means that they've been together for a while. You know what I'm saying? So that means they're used to things being a certain way, of how they view it, of their opinions, and the way that they've built up their mind and shit like that, and the way that they know how to conduct their emotions and shit like that. So be on the lookout for that, because you can get into a situation where you make, by interacting incorrectly with the environment that they have created, it's a group thing now. They're not so much of separate as individuals. They're a part of something now. You get what I'm saying? Everybody's still going to be an individual at the end of the day, but they're a part of something now. They're a part of that family. They're a part of that relationship of being husband and wife and shit like that. So just be careful when you're interacting with that, because if you interact with it incorrectly, you could make an enemy out of not only the husband, but you could make an enemy out of the woman as well, even if she care about you and shit like that. If you're interacting with that environment incorrectly, it might start to make her feel some type of way, or make her feel unseen, or some shit like that, or make it seem like you're like not valuing the way that she think and feel about shit, or devaluing her perspective and shit like that. So just be careful about shit like that. Said I'm looking for peace and chaos. Yeah, that's one of them things, bro. That's one of them things, bro. So if you know anything about astrology, start to utilize a little bit of Taurus energy whenever you're in when you're in a situation where you're in chaos at the moment. You get what I'm saying? If everything feels chaotic, and you see how the environment is playing out, chaotic energies and shit like that, get grips with your mental and emotional state of being. 9 times out of 10, when you're going through chaotic events in your life, it's because your mind and your emotions has been cluttered up for weeks to months to years beforehand of you actually experiencing this situation at hand at the moment. You get what I'm saying? A lot of times it's because of what you was doing in the past and the environment that you were developing. So that's basically like your karma, your get back, your manifestation of whatever mental and emotional state of being that you were in here in the past, right? So you was probably chaotic mentally and emotionally, and you either were acting on a whole bunch of impulses and desires and shit like that. And that's what leads to catastrophic and chaotic events a lot of the time. So when you're now in these moments where you're actually physically in the third dimension, outwardly in the environment, experiencing these chaotic moments and shit like that, and everything just seems chaos, it don't seem like you can like grab a hold of anything, you either need to learn to let go, and that's been one of your main issues. You don't know how to let go emotionally. You don't know how to let go of mental thought forms and certain ideas and belief systems that you have. That could be one reason, or it could be a reason like you need to add internally, you need to add Taurus energy, get some stability within yourself, add some Cancer energy, get some comfortability within yourself. And this is the thing too. It need to be a thing where you're it needs to be a thing where you're like fucking shit, man. I had a point. God damn it. Hold on. Let me hit something real quick. This shit always brings it back. So yeah, utilize the Taurus energy to gain some stability. Okay, I remember exactly what I was going to say. 9 times out of 10, it'd be a situation where you're testing yourself. So what is happening is you're getting your get back from them thoughts and feelings, those modes of expression that you were in here in the past, and it's being played out externally, right? So whenever you're in these situations, what you need to do is react and respond to the situation differently than how you created it. You get what I'm saying? So, like I said, when you're reacting and responding to these things, don't get stressed out. Don't feel like things are chaotic. You get what I'm saying? Don't get stressed out mentally or emotionally. Don't get clouded mentally and emotionally. Don't let the chaotic environment that you're experiencing at the moment, due to it being your own fault and due to it being of your own creations, you get what I'm saying? Due to whatever you was into in the past, don't react and respond to that in them same type of energies that created this in the first place. You get what I'm saying? Make sure that whenever you're experiencing the chaos and shit like that, just even if you gotta like close your eyes and fucking, you know what I'm saying, like talk to yourself for a minute. Make sure that you're reacting mentally and emotionally in a different type of way. React with more stability. Be comfortable with the chaos. Find the stability within the chaos, and that'll help you lesser the percentage level of experience that you get where things actually are chaotic, and that'll help you build more stability and shit like that. And then you can get into building a foundation at that point, and you can build a new foundation built on something that isn't chaos. Build a more stable foundation that can't be like cracked and shit like that. So certain experiences you go through ain't gonna make you feel a certain type of way, and you're not gonna have to go and type on anybody's chat and give no examples of some shit that you're going through right now because you don't know how to figure it out or whatever it is that might be bothering you at the moment. You get what I'm saying? You won't have to do that in the future because now you got the tools. You know how to, you know what I'm saying? You know how to get out of that. You know how to manifest better situations for yourself. You get what I'm saying? So just keep a keen, sharp eye on shit like that. But like I said, we be in other people's worlds all the time. And this is another thing too, that a lot of y'all don't realize. You get what I'm saying? We're dealing with worlds when we go and deal with corporations too. You get what I'm saying? We're dealing with somebody else's world when we're going and working a job and shit like that, and working for a certain company and shit like that. And y'all know this if y'all pay attention, because these people are well versed on astrology and creating worlds in the first place. It's the same people who run society who run these corporations. So like, for example, if you take a look at Dunkin' Donuts, I don't know if this is the same case everywhere, so y'all don't get it fucked up. Don't go like do some research on this shit and try to come back into my chat and say, oh, you're wrong. I'm giving y'all examples of my area right now, okay? Dunkin' Donuts and pretty much every gas station that's in the area, Shell station, Roadrunner, BP, fucking all the major gas stations, they're all run by one investment company, GPM Investments, okay? That they're all run by the same investment company, GPM Investments, and they all have the same worldviews and the same policies. So it's their world that they've created. So when you come and react and respond and come involve yourself into that environment and that atmosphere and shit like that, they have certain stipulations for you to even be involved in that world in the first place. Because, and you're basically signing a contract to let them know, like, yeah, I'm gonna react and respond how y'all want me to in this environment. That's why you got to go sign contracts and check all the boxes and shit and be like, yeah, I acknowledge it. I've read this and understand this, and I will follow these policies. I'll wear this certain type of uniform when I come to work. You know what I'm saying? I won't sexually harass or I won't assault anybody or these different type of things. You get what I'm saying? That's you being in somebody else's world. So just recognize that. Recognize that. That way you can put yourself more in an aspect when you're actually working that job. Before you go there, you have an internal structuralized system that is built up with your own logic and reasoning of why you're even working that job in the first place. Number one, because we already have a world that we're in, the world of society and shit like that, that views the reason why you need to go and get a job in the first place and shit like that. You know what I'm saying? So make sure that you have your own internal strength to develop something that is more correlated to you-ness and is not so correlated to them. Even if you have gone through the process of signing the contracts and shit like that and letting them know, like, yeah, I'm gonna react and respond in this certain type of way, but knowing damn well if a situation occurs and you need to show your ass and act out and shit like that, like, yeah, you need to do that. You know what I'm saying? But like I said, just have internal strength. That's gonna, but like I said, you need to be able to view when you're in somebody else's world anyways. You get what I'm saying? So we've broke down the relationship aspect. We've broke down the corporation aspect of it, of when you go and get a job and shit like that. Now let's break down the individual aspect of it and shit like that. This goes into the karmic situations that I was talking about when we're dealing with individuals and the environments that they've created. So that tie into it too. Go and watch some of my karma videos. That'll let you know how people are developing these internal environments in the first place, where they derive from. That way you can see certain characters that are being played out, and that way you can catch grips whenever you're getting influenced by certain thought forms and feelings that are correlated to that same type of energy or that same type of environment that this person that you're dealing with at the moment has created for themselves, whether it's just a friendship, an association, a random motherfucker that you walk across on the street and you meet and y'all have a conversation about some shit. You get what I'm saying? Everyone has their own world and shit like that. So when we're interacting with people by default, we're going to be interacting with their world. You get what I'm saying? And pay attention too, because it's a piece of your world as well. And that's the reason why you even come across certain individuals, even if it's a random motherfucker who's being loud and annoying in the store or some shit like that, or a loud ass kid who's crying in the store. Like, yeah, you were there at that store at that specific time of the day when that crying ass baby was in the store for a reason. It was something within you that repelled and attracted that type of energy. You get what I'm saying? So just pay attention to these things. You always interacting with other people's worlds. You're always interacting with your own world. But like I said, how to identify when you're experiencing that through a singular individual is whenever when you're going through these situations and you're picking up on certain thought forms and feelings that are correlated more to their energy. And it's not necessarily something that you would even be considering thinking about. It wouldn't even be a thinking point for you when you're on your own time, when you're alone, or when you're separate from certain individuals and shit like that. You get what I'm saying? That's how you know that you're in their world at the moment. That's how you know you're interacting with their world at the moment. Even if it comes to texting on the phone with certain individuals, you could text on the phone with a certain individual, and then all of a sudden, like, all your ideas are more predicated towards like going and fucking on somebody at the moment, or some desire-based type shit, or so, you know what I'm saying? Or some waste of time type shit. Like, yeah, I need to lay on the couch for the next fucking 5 hours and just scroll on YouTube or some shit. You know what I'm saying? And people get influenced by this shit and actually play out these characteristics, as far as sitting on the couch all day and fucking scrolling YouTube, or going and like desperately trying hard to go and fuck on somebody for the moment, just because you was talking to this certain dude who is always in those type of energies, or just because you was talking to this certain girl and she showed you a picture of her ass or some shit, or you know what I'm saying? Different shit like this. So that proves to y'all that we dealing with other people's worlds at the moment. And just pay attention to that shit. Don't get lost into it. That's how you identify it, and how you get out of it is having internal strength to not be influenced, and having the awareness, whether it be unconscious, subconscious, or consciously. The other two are a little bit more stronger. The conscious is not as strong. That's like the after effect of it type shit. Like, you need to be able to pick up on it before it even, you know what I'm saying, before it gets to the point of being something that's conscious. You get what I'm saying? But yeah, portals and Stargate. Shout out to Eli. That portals and Stargates. That's exactly what we're going through. And yet, whenever you interacting with somebody, you walking straight through a portal. You walking straight through a Stargate, and you in their world now. You done lost grips with your world. You forgot where your house is at. You done, you know what I'm saying? You done jumped off the porch, and the end of the porch was just a fucking cliff fall or some shit. And now you know what I'm saying? Now you in this person's world, and you don't remember, you know what I'm saying? That's why people get influenced by this shit easily. When you don't have the internal strength, and you've only built your house, and even the house is like rickety. Like, even the house is on some flunked out shit. The fucking the screws that you use wasn't long enough, so you got a bunch of boards popping off the roof and off the side of the building and shit like that. Like, you didn't mix your concrete right whenever you was pouring the foundation and shit, so you got a bunch of cracky foundation type of shit. You wasn't pouring the mortar mix right whenever you was laying your bricks and shit like that. So every time you lay down that layer of mud between each brick, now each brick got a fucking big ass cracking system between each brick pillar that you laying down and shit like that to build your house. And I'm talking about internally right now. I'm talking about esoteric shit right now. So y'all keep that in mind as well. Don't think I'm actually out here fucking building houses and shit like that. Like, yeah, I've done that in the past, but that's not what we're talking about right now. But like I said, a lot of y'all will just stay so focused on building a house, and even if the house does look pretty, you focus too much on just building the house. You didn't worry so much about building the surroundings and shit like that. Like, you didn't make sure that you had the minerals and the things necessary to build up your yard and shit like that, and expand your space and give a definitive area of surrounding and circumference and shit like that. You didn't do all that. So the moment that you step off your porch, you fucking fall straight into a cliff, or you fall straight into a hole, or you fall straight into some deep ass water or some type of shit. So now you deep in somebody else's world. You don't know, you don't have the internal strength. You didn't set up all those internal structural systems and having your groundingness, having your yard and shit like that, and having the bird bath in the fucking front yard and shit like that to observe and things like that. You didn't have the wishing well with a fucking deep well of water that is infinite and shit like that, that don't ever run out or don't ever dry up and shit like that. So now you lost in somebody else's world, and you got to go get sustenance and try to pick up on, scrape up fucking minerals from off of their shit. You fucking somewhere on somebody else's yard, supposed to be in a man and a woman, but you on somebody else's yard eating the fucking grass out of their yard just because you so dry and hungry and thirsty at the moment. You don't know how to get back to home. You know what I'm saying? You lost in the woods now. Just keep attention to that. Like, don't get sucked into somebody's world. Always know when you being influenced to react and respond in certain ways. Always know when you being influenced to think and feel in certain type of ways and shit like that. Have that internal strength within you, so you always know how to get back to that you energy. You always know how to get back to you. You always know how to get back home. Can't nobody take you outside of that and shit like that. But also another big thing, don't get lost into just you too. You know what I'm saying? Like, everything is you at the end of the day. Everything in this world is correlated underneath the you energy. Even if it's an offshoot, like even if they try to claim it something else and make it appear like something else, like majority of this shit come from the you energy in the first place. So just keep that in mind. The shape of the letter itself, the you physically talking about you and shit like that, pointing back, curving back, coming around, going around shit and coming back to you and shit like that. The whole world consists of this type of energy at the moment, because they've been watching Uriel since before this motherfucker was even down here in physicality and shit like that. So everything down here is correlated to the you energy, and just keep that in mind. Everything is about you. Like you know how growing up that we would always have people telling us it's not all about you and shit. Like, yeah, it is all about you, but not in the aspect of developing an ego based on who you are and your image and holding on to that shit and trying to uphold it all the time and stuff like that, and being extremely selfish all the time and shit. Like, no, it's not about that. Just pay attention. Y'all get more further along the more y'all watch this channel and shit like that. Like, we'll break this shit down in even more depth, as you know, once I get some true adeptus in here and shit like that. You know what I'm saying? You know, so we making statements. We ain't asking questions. We making statements based on our own wisdom and our own experiences. You get what I'm saying? We making statements. We ain't asking nobody no fucking questions. So yeah, when the adeptus roll in, we'll get more situations where we can break down shit in more totality and stuff like that. But this has been a great breakdown for this topic itself. You know, we kind of branched off into the you energy a little bit there, but this has been a great breakdown for this topic. Just know whenever you are being in somebody else's world, anytime you're interacting with somebody else, you're getting pieces of their environment and their atmosphere that they've created coming to you. You know what I'm saying? And there's certain spirits that's going to want to experience things through you. You get what I'm saying? And it might be a situation where the person that you're dealing with at the moment, certain spirits are not able to come and experience through them because that person isn't capable of experiencing something like that, or capable of handling what comes with it or whatever. You know what I'm saying? So certain spirits might be trying to come to you based on that environment. And when y'all come together and the shit starting to mix and mingle a little bit, you know what I'm saying? That shit might be trying to come and experience through you. So just be aware of that. Don't get lost into it. Now we're going to read the chat, read these last two comments, and then we're going to hop off here and we're going to go live directly again and do a tarot card reading. So if anybody is in here watching right now, pop back in about 10 minutes, and we're going to do a collective tarot card reading for everybody again. So Eric G said, I just cleaned the house. They don't care about me. I already read that one. You're helping me more than others when I talk about this situation. This is a karmic situation, sadly. I appreciate that. I'm glad I could help. You know what I'm saying? Fucking licensed, registered therapist Schwetz in the building. You know what I'm saying? Like, yeah, everybody be telling me the same shit. You know what I'm saying? So I'm glad I can help y'all, you know, but just take control of your own aspects and shit. Take control of your own aspects and your own creations. That way we ain't out here constantly needing help from other individuals and shit like that. Then we can learn how to help ourselves, even if we got to watch a certain individual for a period of time to learn some things, and then utilize those tools and lessons and the wisdom that is being brought forth to us to do our own shit and fix whatever the fuck we got going on. That way we don't have to, you know what I'm saying? We don't have to be in situations like this where we asking people for help and shit. You know what I mean? Unless you're just a person who like to ask people for help. You know, I can't determine what's good for everybody. Me though, I don't like to ask for help, and it play out detriment a lot of the time for me personally. So yeah, but anyways, that's the end of this video. We're going to be back in about 5 to 10 minutes to do this tarot card reading. All I got to do is grab my cards and fucking make a title and shit like that, and we in there. So see y'all soon. Peace.